Hello everyone, MP Hitter here. Welcome back to my newcomer's guide for Elden Ring. This is part 13. So in the last several episodes, we have basically completed all of the side content in Limgrave and the Weeping Peninsula, with basically one exception, and that is the Stranded Graveyard. This has in it the Fringe Folk Hero's Grave, which is a little higher level than we should be tackling right now. So we're going to be coming back to that a little bit later. But otherwise, the stuff that we're going to do in this episode is going to be to finish up some stuff in the Round Table Hold. We're also going to go pick up a item, a Shield of the Guilty, that I forgot to pick up while we were in the Demi-Human Forest Rune, so I'll show you where that is. We're going to go ahead and visit Garank over at the Bestial Sanctum. We're going to give him the Death Root that we've been carrying, and that's going to get you the Bestial Sling incantation, so if you're going for beast incantations, then not a bad one to have. And then finally, we are heading towards Stormveil Castle. So we're not going to complete Stormveil Castle because it's quite a big place, but we are going to start it in this episode. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually totally optional for you. However, I'm an assassin, so playing to my character, I'm going to open up the path to this. Go downstairs, pick up the prayer book that's down there. There's an assassin's prayer book, so trying to stick to my own personal lore. You can definitely do this, though, anytime you want. But it is going to require 2 stone sword keys, and I decided to pick now because I just happen to have enough to pick it up. I will also say that this isn't a very good item anyway, in my personal opinion, unless you're playing like an assassin type build. So I would probably forego getting these items and spend that elsewhere. Come back to this later. So this is going to give us the Assassin's Prayer Book. You can take this to Muriel. We haven't yet met Muriel, but they're in the Church of Vows in Liurnia, which we'll gain access to, or technically can gain access to it now, but we're going to be heading there after we tackle Stormveil Castle. And the nice thing about Muriel is that he doesn't ever leave. He basically stays there the entire game. Whereas most of the other NPCs in this game, such as Corin here, will end up moving around based on story events that happen in the game. Some of them even have their own stories, their own quests to follow. And some of those quests, some of these NPCs will die. But Muriel seems to always stick around. So Corin here will take your incantation prayer books. Saluvius and Selen, which are both sorcerers, they will take, and sorceress, they'll take your scrolls. However, Corin here, we'll go ahead and give him the prayer book, I guess. I'm okay with that.
Very well. May the Golden Order...
Eventually, I'm going to buy everything up from all of the NPCs anyway, so I'm okay with that. But consider just taking all of your stuff over to Muriel. So the next thing we're going to do is you want to make sure that you spent any runes that you've got, because we're going to jump down here and we're going to tackle an invader. So as you can see, there's lots of death patches on the ground because this invader is a pretty hard invader. So don't do this now unless you feel like you're prepared for it. I feel like I'm okay with it, so I'm going to go ahead and do it now. So this invader has bleed damage. They carry a scythe that they're going to whip out, and they'll often do 1, 2, or 3 hits back to back. So you want to try to dodge through those if you can, or just simply not be near the enemy whenever he starts using them. However, he also has the ability to inflict frostbite on you. He has 2 different magic abilities, one that's very similar to the ancient hero of Zamor, where there will be a cloud of cold air, and that will cause you to build frostbite, and then he'll also throw icicles at you. So that'll also cause you to gain frostbite gradually. And frostbite works very similar to bleed in that it builds up a bar. Once that bar is filled, it'll do a whole bunch of damage to you. So be aware of that. Frostbite also has some more negative effects by being a debuff for your opponents, but that's something else to be aware of. So, this guy is going to bow the first thing he does. And as long as you let him finish the bow, you will gain the bow. However, get behind him and do a backstab on him. Now he can heal himself. Thankfully, he can only heal himself once. And he's dead. So if you get lucky, you might be able to avoid him healing himself at all. Otherwise, we're going to get the Taunter's Tongue. This is a multiplayer item, and this is used to lure invaders into the game. If you are normally playing the game without any help, you actually aren't susceptible to being invaded at all. But you can use this to actually trigger invasions. It'll also, if you use it again after an invasion, it'll also shorten the interval for invasions. Beyond that, if you are playing with somebody else, that will unlock mandatory invasions. You'll always be invaded if you're playing co-op with someone. However, if you use that while you're in that state, then you can have 2 invaders come in, and then the maximum number of cooperators you'll have will be 1. So that's a consideration if you like doing multiplayer, especially co-op and PvP at the same time. Otherwise, we're going to come in here, pick up the Cypher Pata. This is basically a fist-based weapon that has a blade on the end of it, so kind of a weird weapon. Otherwise, that's all we can get down here. We're going to go ahead and utilize this tether. Not exactly sure what these things are called. That takes us back to the top of the round table hold. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to head to the south of the Lookout Tower Grace, and we're going to go pick up the Shield of the Guilty. This is an item that I failed to pick up whenever we went through here previously. I was going back through my episode list, and I was like, I know I'm missing something. And I might be missing more things, but I think this is the only thing that we're missing at this point. So what we're looking for is an area kind of like what we found in the ruins at the Aguil Lake. We're looking for an area that you can only enter by jumping in with Torrent. And once you find it, there's a path down. Alright, so let me remove the marker. Next, we're going to head up to the Bestial Sanctum, and we're going to give Garank the death root that we have. Now, I do want to call out, if you are collecting more death root than I am at this phase, there is a point where he will become hostile. So try to stick along with what I'm doing with regards to these, because his hostile form is pretty spicy. Once you beat him in that hostile form, though, he'll regain composure, and you'll be able to keep giving him death root after that. But I think it's at 6 death root that he becomes hostile. And once you beat him, you can give him all the way up to, I think, 10 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, now we're going to head to Margaret the Fell Omen. If you haven't beaten this boss at this point, you have to beat this boss now before you can progress. Bear in mind, though, if you, for whatever reason, can't beat him, there's more stuff that you can do. You can take this path right here up to Liurnia and basically go there. There is some risk of some of the side quests, though, not triggering properly. Because some characters will move, so I'm trying to keep us on the path where we're going to encounter most of the side quests in the game. Likewise, remember that you can also go down to the Tower of Return, And that will take you up to an area that we don't even have technically a map area for yet, which is Lanedale. So if you're trying to explore the rest of the world without having to go through this place, that's something you can certainly do. But if you're level 30 to 40, this is an appropriate time to tackle this place. And we are sitting at level 36, so we're right in the middle of where we want to be. And just remember, I'm going to have fewer levels than you will because I'm a wrench. Alright, so we're going to head right first. There's a path down here. That's going to get us a multiplayer item, the Furl Calling Finger Remedy. Again, these are consumables for getting help. Down here we have a fire grease. Across the way over there are some bolts. However, we don't yet have the ability to go over there. We'll get that here in a minute. Otherwise, just grab the Trina's Lily, and then we're going to head out here. And this is going to take us back to the front of the building. Now, this place is pretty large, by the way. We are not going to finish this place in this first episode. Probably not even in the next episode either. So it's a good hour and a half to 2 hours long, assuming you know where everything is. Otherwise, though, we're going to head towards the gate and head left.
You there? Come over here.
Talk to this guy. This is Gostock.
God, you breached the...
And would you look at that? Someone's already trying to kill him. Well, he probably deserves it. Alright, so this is a choice to make here. If you pick the bottom option, Gostock's going to open the gate, and you'll be able to go right through the front gate. That's actually going to give you a faster route directly to the boss, if that's what you're looking for. The caveat, though, is that the enemy knows you're here. After all, you killed Margit, so they're going to have ballistas trained on basically the entrance. Yes, you can get through it, but I don't think it's worth going through it that way, because the courtyard that you're going to be in is actually a drop-off point from a bunch of other places, so you have to drop off in order to get into the courtyard normally. So that means you're going to miss a whole bunch of the items that you would otherwise be going for, unless you tackle the left side here first, or if you do it afterwards, that's fine too. So in addition, we won't be able to progress the storyline with this guy unless we go through the left way. So we're going to say very well.
Yeah, you're just...
Now be aware, now that we've talked to him, whenever you die inside this castle, and we aren't technically inside the castle right now, so just be aware of that, but whenever you die inside the castle, he will steal 30% of your runes that were dropped. Now you may think, oh, I'm going to kill him. Don't do that. At least I don't recommend it anyway. So he's going to become a vendor. We can also progress his storyline pretty quickly. We'll actually progress it, I think, in this episode. And once we progress his storyline, he'll stop stealing stuff from us. And later, after he's become a vendor, he will also sell us an item that's of extreme rarity, which is the ancient dragon smithing stone, of which there are only a little over 10, I think, in the game. And so be aware of that. We will be able to get that from him a good bit later. For now, though, we're going to head left. And we need to basically make sure that we trigger 2 of his... He actually has 3 different appearances in this place. And I'll call out the 3rd, which we probably won't reach until the next episode. But the first 2 locations that he'll be at, if you trigger 2 of the 3 locations, at that point he'll stop stealing runes from you, and he'll become a vendor for you. Otherwise, come out here. And don't kill yourself like I nearly did. Boy, oh boy. Gravity. That's the thing that's going to kill you the most in these games. I don't know, though. Elden Ring definitely has the less gravity situations, at least up to this point. Let's try that again. Alright, so we got a golden rune. We're going to climb up here. I'm going to pick up a ruin fragment. Alright, so we're going to want to shield out once we cross this barrier and drop down here. There are new enemy types to deal with now. So I recommend guard counters for that. Another thing to call out is that they'll also do a pecking attack, where they'll peck you 3 times in a row. Block, and then on the third one, go ahead and do a guard counter. Next, though, we're going to head down here. And there are 2 of them here. I'm going to try to kill this one fast. That way the other one... Oh, he moved past us. Alright, so that's that. Now we're going to head around here. We're going to pick up that item that we saw across from the ravine earlier. So that's a bolt, or 10 bolts. Now, if you want a direct path to a grace, you can simply just drop down over here and head towards the grace there. We're going to be heading there here in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and kill some birds. So there are 3 of them. There's 2 up there. We definitely don't want to have all 3 of them fighting us at once, so I'm going to deal with 1 at a time, if we can. Alright, so now we're going to head towards the grace. The item we just picked up, by the way, is the famed level 3 version of the smithing stones. Up to now, we've only been able to get our stuff up to level 6. So these are what are required for getting us past level 6. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and head back up here. So be aware, this guy's going to call his friends. So be aware, by the way, that the guys with physical attacks, they have Ashes of War on their weapons. So grab this, we're going to head inside. Grab this and then step out, because there are enemies up there who are going to throw grenades at you. And then step in here and kill them or don't kill them, up to you. I'm going to kill them. And then we want to step outside. This room, by the way, is the trigger for Gostock to start following you. So if we head out here now, we can see that Gostock is actually over there. You can see the light coming from that path. So we're actually going to go talk to him. This is the first meeting. You have to meet him twice in order to get him to stop stealing your runes. So now we're going to go around here instead of dropping down. And this will allow us to talk to Gostock.
Oh, just please. Good.
So talk to him until he repeats himself.
What will happen if...
So he's going to give you a Grace Mimic. This is basically a fake version of a Grace. It can be used for multiplayer. restrict people, as well as you can also use it for pointing in the direction of another grace. It's random though, so be aware of that. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and progress. Rest with the grace if you want. So if you can get behind this enemy, you can do a backstab to him. He has a pretty beefy attack pattern, so be aware of that. Hook claws, by the way, are great if you want to do some cosplay of Wolverine. Otherwise, we are heading up here. So once they blow up the thing, back off, and then we're going to head up here and kill this guy. And then we're going to head up here and we're going to kill this guy. So we'll head back down here. There's an item around back here. Throwing daggers. And this enemy over here is basically waiting to ambush you. So we're actually going to surprise him. Bye. There's usually an enemy coming down here. There he goes. Bye. So next we're going to drop into here, and he is right below us. So he won't be able to throw grenades at you. That'll go ahead and pick up the smoldering butterfly. So next we're going to head up here. Don't worry about the item down there. We're going to get it here in a minute. Okay, so be aware you should probably be topped off before you step in here. I'm going to go ahead and use my Wondrous Physic. Once you step in here, you're going to be locked in here by Gustok, and you're going to have to face off against this enemy. Now, if you die here, you can actually sneak into this room whenever you're coming back and backstab this enemy for a huge chunk of his health. This guy is no joke, by the way, so if you die, if I die, don't worry about it. There he goes. Okay. So those guys are pretty difficult to deal with, in my opinion. And there are quite a few of them inside this building, so get used to them. Otherwise, we're going to get the rusty key as well as a talisman, which enhances guard counters, ironically. So we're going to come out of here, and next we're going to drop down here, pick up this item. Then drop down here, and now we can open up this locked door. So if you want to get to the nearest Grace, there's an enemy right here who's going to try to attack you. You can go up these stairs, go outside, there's more stairs, go up to the top, sneak your way past the enemy that's up there, and then go up the stairs some more, and that will reach a Grace. Otherwise, though, we're going to do a couple of things down here first, because I feel like I have plenty of flasks. Well, I did not intend to fall down with you, but hey. All right, so we're gonna go across here. We're gonna pick up the fire grease, and we're about to get that item over there. So we won't be able to get that quite yet. So come out here, make a left. Got an enemy to deal with. That's gonna get us a brick hammer. Now we're going to climb back up, and we're going to take the left path this time. Silver pickled foulfoot, that's going to increase our drops. Head out here for a mushroom. Right, we're going to head up the stairs. Now you can sneak past this enemy if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and kill him. So these guys also have their own Ash of War. In my opinion, they're a little easier to deal with, however. So, again, if you want to go get the Grace, head upstairs, wait for the enemy to pass by, and then just go that way. Otherwise, then we're going to go get that other item. Drop off here. Drop down here, and here's an arteria leaf. So those are all the items that are in that room. We're going to go ahead and head up, and now we're going to access the Grace. Oh, I forgot. The enemy's upstairs. Anyway, head over here. Left path. And we're going to pick up the Grace. I'll go ahead and rest at it. Next, we're going to go upstairs after we pick up this item over here. This, by the way, is the second location that Gostock will be at. However, he won't be up here. He won't be there until we get to the end of what we're going to do in this episode. So you can head up here if you want to. I usually hold off on this section until a little later, but move here and grab some more throwing daggers. All right, so what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to head out here. We got some more of these birds to deal with. These ones will hit you with explosive barrels. So we want to make sure that we shoot them from afar to stagger them, and they won't use the barrels. And there is one more right here. I really need to consider a longbow. And then there's one more over here. He's going to try to blow us up. He sometimes accidentally blows himself up, though. And we got a smithing stone. So next we're going to come up here, and I'm going to drop down off the side here. And then we're going to roll. Got the marred wooden shield. Drop off here. And then once you drop off here, this is going to trigger you to fall. Got a new Ash of War. So if you don't like Crucible Knights, avoid the item that's over there. And just let him walk by. And you can go through there and just not deal with him at all. However, I'm going to kill him. Or at least I'm going to try. I'm usually pretty good about blocking those. There we go. Anyway, grab the Somber Smithing Stone, or avoid him. We can always come back to him later. Either way, though, we want to head through here. And we're going to take this up. And here's our second meeting.
Oh, for God. What? Can't just... Oh, it's... Oh, it's...
So complete his dialogue, and now he will no longer steal runes from you. And that, my friends, is going to wrap this episode. So in the next episode, we're going to be continuing through Stormveil Castle and collecting up all of the items we can. Try to get to... I think we're going to reach the boss, but I don't think we're going to complete the boss in the next episode. We'll see. We'll see how fast we get to it. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you in the next one. Later.